Welcome to the first ever Imagine It podcast episode. I'm here with the futurist, Morten, and I'm the ultimate babyface, Joel. I guess we used to do a podcast a couple of years ago.
We did.
You've done a podcast for wrestling for quite a while. I used to do a podcast for quite a while on wrestling.
I was one of the first podcasts on wrestling.
Oh.
We heard Jim Cornette and said, shit, we can do that. And then we did, believe it or not. We Talk Wrestling ran for a long, long time and was one of the original.
Finally! Imagining a world of professional wrestling with time machines, no injuries, just something different from what actually happened in reality.
Yes, an alternative reality, so to speak. So this alternative reality that we're doing this episode is what?
This one is a dream match. And it is the young 30-year-old Maxwell Jacob Friedman versus, at his peak, not returns in 2011, I'd say 2000, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So he's not super muscular. He's like that lean athlete Rock. What would that program look like? Maxwell Jacob Friedman versus The Rock.
So what do you think it would look like?
Oh, it'd be amazing. I think that's it. We're done.
We're done. Yeah, welcome to the first episode, and thank you for showing up.
No, I think like that. These two guys, like Max is better in ring than The Rock. I think The Rock had his shtick that worked, but man, he would The Rock would throw himself into it. Like it never felt like The Rock really half-assed a wrestling match at this time period. Like he was going all in, and Max would go all in, and like in ring wise, I think it'd be a really good match. I think they'd be able to work collectively together. Rock is the baby face, Max is the heel in the match. But I think the bigger thing that people would be drawn into is those promos. What do you think those promo battles would look?
It was very interesting because The Rock has a very different promo style from MJF. Now, both of them don't really, both of them run down their other guy, but in different ways.
Yeah.
And neither one of them ever runs down the physical abilities of the other guy or their wrestling ability, really. I mean, The Rock will make fun of your personality traits and mannerisms. MJF will try and get in your head and sow doubt. If you lose, then you'll be living with this the rest of your life. Throw doubt in there. What if I do lose and I'm living with this the rest of my life? So it was a very different style. I mean, the MJF did that promo where he talked about having quarters thrown at him as a Jewish kid. The Rock couldn't do that. He just couldn't do that. His stick was different. But The Rock had a charisma level that even MJF couldn't match. MJF, I'd say, is about the level of Chris Jericho. And I remember seeing a promo, not the one where Jericho debuted, a different one shortly before Jericho turned heel and won the Undisputed title from both The Rock and Steve Austin on the same night. And in this promo, he was still a babyface, but he and The Rock had just tag teamed. And Chris Jericho cuts this promo on The Rock because they lost, talking about how, he lifts his eyebrow up so high as over his head, it'd be easy to smack it right off because it's an easy target, and it was just great promo, and I went, wow, Jericho's a fantastic promo. And then The Rock cut a promo on him. And I went, oh, there's levels to this. I was thinking for half a second, I thought to myself, Chris Jericho's on The Rock's level promo-wise. I thought that for just a little bit. And then I realized, no. And Chris Jericho, you can see from his face, he knew it too. And it's kind of that same thing. The Rock, I think, would want to do business, though, with MJF. I don't think The Rock would want to blow him out of the water. I don't even know that he meant to do it with Jericho on that occasion. I think he was just feeling it. I remember The Rock was in the ring with CM Punk and Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan at the time. And Danielson, you think, would be blown away by The Rock and held his own with him. Because The Rock wanted to do business and didn't want to run him down. So I think The Rock would do great promos with him, would make fun of his mannerisms, wouldn't run him down, be charismatic as hell, and then you'd get to the match, and in the match, The Rock would put over MJF. I have no doubt about it. MJF doesn't lose a lot. He's willing to do business when he wants to, when he needs to, when it's the right time, like he did with Kevin Knight recently. but he generally wins. Whereas The Rock, because he can cut those incredible promos, was Teflon. Like very few people ever are. He could sit there and just make an entrance and be The Rock and have all that charisma. And it didn't matter if he lost. He was back as a main event, and there was always a seed of doubt that he was going to lose because he's The Rock, because he has that aura.
Well, like you speak about, like, growing up as a kid, like, The Rock was that large... For me, Rock and Austin were the larger-than-life personalities. And to see, like, anytime The Rock would come out, you're like, what is he going to say? That was always a thing. What is The Rock going to say? Who's he going to run down? I loved when he'd run down Triple H. His battles with Jericho were fantastic. And, of course, The Rock and Austin feud. I think both guys would throw jabs at each other in effective ways. But I do think you are right. I do think The Rock absolutely does business with Max. Because that's the thing. Like, growing up, you would see The Rock lose. And it never felt like, man, I don't want to see The Rock anymore.
No.
It was always like, okay, well, he'll come cut a promo, and we'll be like, oh, this is great. All right, let's.
Like I say, he was Teflon for that reason. A lot of people couldn't lose, and because if you lose, they become losers.
Yeah.
The Rock was one of the few guys in the history of the business that was not an issue for, and he knew it, and so he was willing to put people over. If you look at his career, he lost a lot, and it didn't hurt him in the slightest, because he is the freaking Rock.
Yeah.
Now, in ring, you talk about how The Rock he had his Rock match.
Yeah.
Like John Cena has his John Cena match. Roman Reigns has his Roman Reigns match. The Rock had his Rock match because he worked within the WWE style, and that's the only thing he learned. MJF more comes at it from if this is real, what would I have to do to beat this guy?
Yeah.
Perspective. A little bit more of the psychology instead of just I'm going to sell, and then I'll hit my spine buster and do the people's elbow. And it'll work because you're The Rock and you're so incredibly charismatic. It works every time. And he does, like you say, The Rock certainly gave 100% effort in the ring. He didn't, he wasn't lazy in the ring by any means. But the MJF would come at it from he's a more versatile worker, would come at it from, he would adjust to The Rock is what I'm saying. He would adjust to The Rock and the Rock style and what The Rock wanted to do. Probably bring one or two little twists to it and make a very entertaining match. I'm sure it will be a 4-star match, I believe, give or take a star.
So now, I think Max goes over.
Yes.
You agree as well. How does Max win? How do you book? You've got this match now. How do you book the winner?
Honestly, I would probably have him cheat to win because he is Max. Like him, a low blow or the diamond ring. I think that's probably the best way for him to hit The Rock, go over, and that way The Rock. It's another way to protect The Rock, so even though he's doing the job, he doesn't look bad because MJF cheats to beat him.
No.
But I mean, MJF is the smaller guy, and yet he's the heel, which is not always a dynamic that works 100%.
Yeah.
So I think he needs to be cheating through the match a lot.
Because one of the selling points for The Rock is like he is a former, was he a defensive tackle? Defensive end?
Defensive tackle.
Yeah.
He was behind Warren Sapp with the Miami Hurricanes as a defensive tackle.
And he played for the Calgary Stampeders.
Yes, he did. Yes, that brings up the story of when I met The Rock. And there I was reading in the newspaper about The Rock and his time with the Calgary Stampeders. And I didn't really read it. I had already known it from reading. Bret Hart did a column every week, often actually written by Bruce Hart. But Bret would do this column and talked about The Rock and how great he was and how he had this tie with the Stampeders. And I was working at a gas station and The Rock came in. Mark Henry was in the car. The Rock comes in. Mark Henry pointed at me. His fingers like sausages, by the way. Looks at me. And The Rock comes in to get asked to go to a restaurant called Luciano's, which was just down the road on the road they were on. And I said, you'll pass a big mall, biggest mall in the city. And it's about 2 blocks further on your right. I said, you shouldn't be able to miss it. And he said, can I get the address from you? And I was like, yeah, I'll look it up in the phone book. And he comes in and he's standing there. Huge dude, by the way. The Rock. And I'm sitting there. And I go, so he used to play for the Stampeders, right? And I was trying to act smart, like I didn't know he was a wrestler, even though he was my favorite wrestler at the time. This is like 1998. He was still a heel. and doing the feud with Triple H, where Triple H was the babyface and hadn't won his first world title yet, but he was my favorite guy. But I didn't want to look like a mark. So I go, oh, you played for the Stampeders. And he goes, yeah, that's right. I went, thought so. And then, gave him the address, and he thanks me, and he goes off and drives away. And then I open up the newspaper to continue the article, and the first thing I read is, the times I spent with the Stampeders was the worst times of my life. And I thought, I look like I just read this and just rubbed it in his face. I look like the biggest jackass. So that's my story of my meeting of The Rock. And he's a very charismatic guy, though. He was nice to me. It was nice.
I could see Max coming out with the Stampeders jersey.
I could see him doing that to get it underneath The Rock.
That's how he would work it, is getting like little jabs like that.
Yeah, exactly. It would be fantastic.
And I do think like the cheating to win, but then because like The Rock is bigger than Max, so it just makes sense that it's like this man. Like Max is obviously not a small guy. Like he's like, you look at him, he's pretty large, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's 220 pounds. I think legit. 5'10" probably.
Yeah.
But like
he's wide.
Yeah. He's a very big guy.
But it'd be like, I would see this match as Max being the man with the Napoleon syndrome of being like feeling he's bigger than he actually is, and that's kind of the way that you would tackle it. Is Rock is obviously The Rock, and Max is trying to punch up.
Yeah.
And him getting the win just gives him plenty more, like what's happened now with him kicking out of the One-Winged Angel.
Yeah, exactly. Or him beating Hangman, how he keeps on bringing it up subtly. Like he just always comes back to it. Yeah, and the fact that he was cheating throughout the match would make it work. So I think the other thing is it would do huge business, both on television, pay-per-view buys, or watchers on Netflix, wherever the match took place. They could draw easily. I mean, they could sell out more than an arena.
Yeah.
I mean, they would have a huge ticket sales. It would draw a lot of money, and it would be one of the funnest matches that we'll never see that we wish we could if we could imagine it.
Yeah, and that's what we just did. We imagined what would be an incredible matchup between the two.
And a little soliloquy about my time meeting The Rock that you can either keep or cut. So
I'm going to keep it.
All right. Well, everybody, please like, subscribe, share, thumbs up, no thumbs down. If you're going to do that, just don't watch. And, so we're on TikTok, Instagram,
and YouTube.
So please find us all those places.